Welcome to Spill the Tea about weddings with Sheila and Teresa. Hi, I'm Teresa.
Hi, I'm Sheila. Hi, welcome to Spill the Tea with Sheila and Teresa. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Sheila. How are you doing?
Well, I'm excited. It's Christmas time.
It is Christmas, but I am going to still complain every time I come to Goldsboro. It rains every single time. I can't believe it. Here we are again in the rain. But hey ho, it's still nearly Christmas, so it's good.
And it's typically dry. It's just only when we're doing podcasts.
But only when we do podcasts in Goldsboro.
That's true. That's true. George said the same thing, that every time I come here it rains.
Yeah, it really does. Something about us driving this way.
But it is gorgeous at Christmas time. We have a great downtown that does light up for Christmas, and it's so festive. Like, I really do enjoy going downtown Goldsboro.
Are you a Christmas girl? You like
I
it?
am, 100%. We decorate 140 trees at least every year for Christmas. So our team not only does events and weddings, we also do that. And so
I'm impressed. We decorate one.
Yeah. And I have one in every room here.
Yeah,
I love trees.
one
I love
only
Christmas.
in our house. That's it.
Well, let's talk about Christmas parties and events and Christmas weddings. Like, I love Christmas weddings.
Well, I don't mind, but I would say a December wedding doesn't have to be Christmas themed. And we've had a couple of really gorgeous Christmas weddings, and our couples have bought their own Christmas trees in. So we purposely don't decorate the venue for Christmas because we are welcoming to everybody, which means that there are some people who don't celebrate Christmas, and I don't want to put Christmas up and then upset them or have to take it back down again, because I couldn't do what you do and decorate.
Well, no, and I agree. I think especially a wedding venue. Now, if it's just an event venue, I get where a lot of those, because they have so many company Christmas parties. But at a wedding venue, I would prefer no wedding or Christmas decor, because not every bride does want a Christmas tree. But now I've had Santa at receptions.
Yes,
like,
we've
so
had
there's
Santa
been presents and Christmas, and I've had very Christmas. I'm a Christmas girl, so I would love a Christmas wedding with elves running around serving cocktails.
Yeah, my mum's dream when I was younger was always that I would have a Christmas wedding and have a big cloak and the whole Christmas theme. It didn't happen. I didn't please her, so no, it wasn't my thing. But yeah, I think a wedding in December doesn't have to be Christmas, and you can lean into colours that are not Christmas. So I love the ice blue, and I mean, you can still do lights.
The ice blue and white would be pretty.
Yeah, I really like that. But if you don't want to lean into Christmas, you could do, other colours. Gold is pretty if it's with something that isn't red. So,
well, and I definitely don't say red for a wedding. It can be very stark, and
but even burgundy
Spanish,
and green
is
so obviously
that.
Christmas. I saw some beautiful cushions the other day in the store, and I thought, oh, they're nice. And I thought, oh no, they're in the store because it's Christmas. And I thought I would like them out all the time, and then people would judge me and think I was weird. So I do think that Christmas seems to be the gold and the burgundy red, doesn't it? So, but you don't have to do that for your wedding. You can lean in. It's a bit like fall, isn't it, really? I mean, everybody does burnt orange and green, and I think you don't have to. You can do something
you don't
different.
have to. But I'll tell you one of my favorite holiday-themed weddings. And she had white fur stole, beautiful white dress. All the bridesmaids were in black, all the pure formal black and white attire. And the dance floor had the low-weight fog, so it was like heaven. And her bouquet didn't have one flower in it. It was cedar, pine, winter mix, and a few little berries with beautiful gold lame bridal wrap. Like, it was all winter greenery, and it was gorgeous.
But then that's not
gorgeous.
That's not saying Christmas, is it? It's saying
It's
winter.
not saying Christmas.
So I think
But
it's
I
a
also love
winter
a
wedding
Christmas
is
wedding.
beautiful.
I've done a Christmas wedding where there was wrapped presents all the way down the aisle. It doesn't have to say Santa, but Santa was at the reception. And every single one of the tables had presents and flower arrangements were coming out of the wrapped boxes. And
Yeah,
I love that. I could do a theme. I
Definitely
obviously
lean
could
into
do a
if you're going to
theme.
do a Christmas wedding, definitely lean into it and go all out. But I do think that you can have a winter wedding happily
Yeah.
without it being Christmas. I mean, I love the hot cocoa bars and the hot apple cider, and you can lean into all of those things. And you can even have Christmas trees undecorated because you can just have pine trees and make it look beautiful and lean into that. And I love the idea of the bouquet without flowers, just the greenery.
Beautiful.
Because there is so much. I mean, I love to put holly around my house, and I can't anymore because of the animals, but
And I love cedar, the smell of cedar. And where cedar's got that nice drape, it's just beautiful in a bouquet.
Yes.
So I do love the winter, and I do love the fun themed Christmas wedding. I feel like most brides that are choosing December are choosing December because of the holiday. I don't think that they're going, oh, I'm just going to choose the second week of December. I think they do have a tendency to lean more towards holiday weddings.
Well, I've got
I think
three
it's dreamy.
weddings in the next 3 weeks, all obviously December weddings. I will let you know whether they go for the Christmas theme or not.
Send me a
because we
photo
had-
each week.
We had December weddings every weekend last year, and we only had one that had Christmas trees.
Really?
Yeah, all the rest were winter themed. But the year before we did have Father Christmas, and that was lovely. But most of them are just winter themed. So maybe because we're just a bit more eclectic.
Well, last year I did one that had a whole bunch of trees all up on the stage around their sweetheart table. That's where their ceremony was because it was cold. And then we flipped it over to the sweetheart table. And what we did for decor was kept it very clean, very simple, is we did the cylinders filled with cranberry and had underwater lights. And then we had like fresh winter mixed greenery like swags on the table. Absolutely gorgeous, very simple. You can smell them cranberries. It was really, really nice. And it wasn't super expensive, but it was just enough color. And it wasn't like it was a bright red because cranberries. It was really, really nice. And we did vintage dishes. It was very simple.
Yeah, I think you can do it elegantly without it having to be the whole Christmas theme. I mean, I look around your house and see all of the nutcrackers. You don't have to have nutcrackers for Christmas if you don't want
Yes,
to.
you do.
So.
Yes, you do. Everybody needs a fun nutcracker. But I'll tell you, I love the black and white. Like, I like formal in the winter. And you know, one of the reasons why I like formal so much is because it could be very cold. And so there could be last minute changes if you're thinking of outside ceremony. So when it's formal, like this past weekend, so many guests were showing up in furs, and I was like, I love this. Like, I love it when I see people get dressed up to go to a wedding.
Yeah, it looks much more elegant, doesn't it?
With the investment that the couple makes financially, and food and cocktails and decor, it's really nice to see guests show up, taking that extra step, getting out of the jeans, like dressing up. And so as the cars were coming up, everybody was jumping out in furs. And I was like, oh, I love this. Like, I love it when I see people. And that's a good thing about a winter is it can be formal, but also people we all have that hidden fur somewhere. I have one. And I don't get a whole lot of excuses to wear it. I was like, God, this would have been a perfect wedding. I could have worn my first stole. But I just love seeing people dress up. So when it's formal, they have the tuxedo jackets on. They are more apt to be able to withstand a 15-20 minute ceremony outside because they're dressed for the occasion.
Yeah. And something that I particularly loved this past weekend was the cloak. I loved it.
Oh, I love
was
it.
Absolutely
I love
stunning.
it.
Or the first stole is beautiful
Yeah.
too. Anything, and I think in the summer it's so hard, isn't it? Because we're all, it's so hot and it's a million degrees, and everybody wants to wear as little as possible.
Yeah.
And no disrespect to anybody, but I do think that a lot of ladies look nicer with more clothes on.
Well,
So when they dress and they've got sleeves, and I know in the summer none of us can do that because it's just too hot.
Right.
But, a sleeve or a cloak or a jacket or a long
beautiful
sleeve just
fur
look
stole.
I know, and it just makes everybody look so much more elegant, don't you think?
Yep, it was beautiful. Like that, every time the door opened, I thought, that one's gorgeous. But I don't even know if you got to see this, but our bride last weekend, hers was reversible. So she had fur on the outside, and it was it was thicker, not as heavy as a suede, but it was thicker. And when we were getting ready to go outside, it was reversible, and it was fur on the inside, and she even had a little hoodie so she could run around. I thought that was adorable.
Stunning. There are so many more options, aren't there, in the winter that you can wear, and you can put your thick tights on underneath, and nobody knows, and it's just absolutely amazing. So I think there are lots of options for a winter wedding, not necessarily themed, but you can lean into.
Or it can be themed if you're into
I know, it can be themed if you want it to be. I mean, we had a few in the fall, didn't we, where there were pumpkins everywhere.
Yeah.
And you think, oh, whatever. So.
And we can talk about that. Not every October, November wedding needs a pumpkin. I love them, and they're so adorable. We had so many great weddings with pumpkins, but it could also be, like a beautiful, rich chocolate brown velvet linens. Like, it could be the color hue, but not necessarily the theme. But they're so cute.
I know, I get a little bit tired of pumpkins and chrysanthemums. I think,
But I would have loved to have seen. So if there's any bride out there that is scheduled for next fall that's on my list, I'd love to see some brown velvet.
Well, chocolate brown is really in vogue next year, so that's a podcast we'll cover in a little while. But
like deep, dark chocolate
really,
brown.
I know. I just bought a dress in chocolate brown because it's just so in vogue at the moment.
Well, that's on my list of like ordering to come in the summer. Is I want to do something that's in that deep, like I'm thinking dark chocolate.
Yeah, let's get away from burnt orange next year and do something a little different.
Well, except terracotta. That's a year round for me, and it's never going out of style. Terracotta is my absolute. And it's funny because before opening the store, even being in flowers and weddings, I've so many different vendors now that terracotta rose is so frequently
I love
on
it.
my page.
I do love it. Yes.
The prettiest rose. And I think, it's funny because if you would have asked me 8 years ago, like, it's such a beautiful rose, and it's so big and so beautiful that it doesn't even look real. And terracotta to me is such, I love it in the spring. I've used it in spring, summer, and fall. It's such a beautiful color. But where it's that reddish brown, and it looks great with pinks and peaches. So, I don't think there's any color that's off limits, really, to me.
No, probably not. But talking about winters, what do you advise your couples as far as florals are concerned? Because obviously it's harder to get in-season local flowers in the winter in North Carolina. So what would you, I know that you can import flowers, but there's always a cost in that. What do you advise that they can get that's in season?
So with the wintergreens, number one, especially in North Carolina, is using a lot more of a wintergreen mix and maybe not as many florals for the December, January, early February. But with flowers, in all honesty, I can import and get hydrangeas in December, and it's not that much more expensive than it was for me a year ago. I'm finding it's not $1. It's cents more. So I can resource so many flowers almost year round.
But isn't it nice to have in-season flowers rather than trying to think outside and want spring flowers in winter?
For me, you can always, because roses is number one for weddings in December, January, because there's so many indoor places within the U.S. that grow roses. So roses are pretty year-round here. And I would highly, like I said, go with winter mixed greenery, because the other greeneries in the U.S. are not, like eucalyptus is not great in that December, January, February mix. So I always say just go with winter greens, period. And you can still do roses. We can still get mums. We can, and I can source tulips in January.
Right.
So I'm not really limited to what flowers a bride can choose.
But it does look a bit odd, don't you think, if you're having a wedding in December and you suddenly want spring bulbs? It's kind of, it just doesn't kind of flow right. So
if it's white is usually what does it. Because white's pretty year round.
Yeah, definitely. But other things
But
to
roses
consider
are
in the
your
winter
traditional
is,
year-round.
things like fireplaces and, having the ambience and putting greenery around a fireplace can always look really nice in the winter, can't it? So,
And see, that's what's so great about pines and cedar and holly is there's so many places that you can resource naturally everywhere.
Well,
Go out in the woods. We can
my
cut
woods.
that down. And I think those on branch are gorgeous to use as garland on tables and mantles and fireplaces, cocktail tables. And cedar and holly is beautiful, beautiful in bouquets. I mean, I don't think you need a whole lot of flowers. Some of the prettiest winter bouquets I've done has been with either white or red berries and not necessarily flowers. If I do, a rose is going to be the most hardy.
yeah, actually, my roses are still growing in my garden, which surprises me because I'm not green fingered, but they're there. So they keep on growing. So it's nice.
Well, we have so many places that do roses year round in the U.S. So, and that's the one thing with so many indoor gardens now. So I think we have solved all the problems about the winter weddings and events. Now, do you have a lot of Christmas parties?
No, not really. We've had a few Christmas parties, but I mean, honestly, we're fully booked for weddings. So
So I do company Christmas parties as well. And see, that's always the fun side because they do like the Christmas theme. We are going to have Santa, we're going to have Grinch, we're going to have the photo booths and the presents and the games and all that fun stuff. So after we Christmas decorate at businesses and homes, and we are on corporate events.
I wish
for
we
Christmas.
had somebody who wanted to do a New Year's Eve party because we're very much about New Year's Eve in the UK. We love it. And when we first moved to the US, we actually hosted a party. And true story, we hosted this party thinking it was going to be amazing and everybody was going to stay until 2 o'clock in the morning. 9 p.m. 9 p.m. before it's even midnight. They were all leaving and going home. Americans are such lightweights. I'm telling you, such lightweights. Seriously. And so there was us and a couple of Welsh friends and a couple of very, very dear friends who sort of felt sorry for us all staying to sing Auld Lang Syne at midnight. But so we've never booked a New Year's Eve wedding. We've never booked a New Year's Eve party, and we'd like to.
So I've done a lot of New Year's Eve weddings through the year, and they are a good time. But it's all about the after party to 2 a.m.
Yeah, I think what part of the problem is that vendors don't necessarily want to work, so they charge more money for New Year's Eve. So it does put people off for sure. But anybody listening who fancies a New Year's Eve wedding next year, just hit us up.
So this is what I find with it. And the vendors that work New Year's Eve, there's a whole breed. I don't charge extra for any date. Year, like even Thanksgiving weekend, there's no extra charge. But where most wedding venues close at 11, like the vendors have to be out at 11, they have to be willing to be open till 2 and vendors get out at 3. That's where the extra charge is because they're there for a longer
Well, I think
day.
caterers also charge more. I mean, that's something we did actually have somebody looking at booking a New Year's Eve a couple of years ago, and they just said the caterers were charging horrific prices. So, yeah, and I get it. I mean, we don't all want to work until 3 o'clock in the morning, do we? It's exhausting. But, for that whole ambience of New Year's Eve, it's once a year. I would do it.
Yeah.
Brides, listen.
I love them. I've done lots of New Year's Eve weddings, and they are a good time. So I like them too. I like them in the white theme with the snow theme.
Yes, yes. Unfortunately, we don't get a lot of snow in North Carolina, do we? So
Well,
it's got to be fake.
You never know. Maybe somebody's going to be watching this and go, that's exactly what I'm going to do. Have a New Year's Eve wedding at English Country Bar.
There you
And now they
go.
know you're open for it.
We are very open, and we would stay up until 3 in the morning.
There you go.
We would see I mean, actually, we cheat a little bit now because it's obviously 5 hours difference in the UK, so we celebrate New Year. And I can go to bed early, so we call all our friends up in the UK 5 hours ahead of time. 8 p.m. Happy New Year! But yeah, we would be up for it.
Well, I love any holiday themes. So we're going to leave it at that. Hope somebody's gotten some
Holiday
ideas
themes or
for
not holiday themes,
or no holiday or colors that they can use. Or if you're looking for a New Year's Eve wedding, call Teresa.
Absolutely.
So until then, don't forget to share, like, and follow. Spill the tea. Bye.